Good afternoon. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Sheel. I'm joined today by Sheel TYLE, who is the founder and co-CEO of Collective Global. Again, thank you very much for joining us. I wonder if you might just give us a brief introduction to yourself and Collective Global for those in the audience that might not be aware of you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. So Collective Global is a venture capital firm. We invest in early stage companies, growth companies, and GP staking. What does that mean? Essentially what it means is partnering with some of the best early stage growth managers to help build their businesses, take them to the next level, build strategic partnerships. And we launched our venture capital part of our business in 2017, and we launched our GP staking part of our business in 2023.
And I wonder, Sheel, if you might just give us a bit of an overview of the state of the market for those various parts of your businesses right now.
Yeah, so venture is in a really interesting time right now. We're sitting here in Paris in September 2025, and a lot is happening around the world, right? I mean, in the US, you're seeing sort of a tale of haves and have-nots. You're seeing, in terms of the haves, you're seeing AI companies raising at numbers that are insane. Private companies today are bigger than they've ever been before, right, in terms of valuation, in terms of capital that they've raised. The public markets are starting to open up, which I think is really useful for everybody in the ecosystem, investors, limited partners, entrepreneurs, GPs. And so I think we're seeing innovation in a sector just flourish and touch everything else. We're also seeing a world where if you're not an AI company, you're a have-not, right?
Sure.
It's very tough to raise capital. It's like it's still 2022 again for those businesses. And so, at least in the venture world, we're seeing a number of just crazy market trends happening. I think on the GP staking side, Collective Global was set up as a first mover. GP staking is quite prevalent in private equity. And our view is that as venture becomes more institutional as an asset class, as firms like General Catalyst, Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia start to get bigger and bigger and bigger, they start to resemble what we saw in private equity in the 90s and 2000s and 2010s, where the firms are becoming platforms and they're becoming larger and they're becoming more meaningful. And so none of them had previously sold GP stakes. Very few venture managers at all had sold GP stakes. I think there were something like 5 managers that had sold stakes. So our view was that by partnering with managers and GPs in the same way GPs partner with entrepreneurs, right, as true partners, long-term orientation, that we could essentially own a piece of the great next generation of innovation and the innovation economy through that. So I think that's going really well. I think there are a number of trends that are leading to some of the best firms wanting to sell GP stakes, which range from tumultuous markets that are now starting to resurge, coupled with many firms thinking about generational succession, retirement planning. How do you incentivize the next generation? And so those two things in confluence are leading to a solution like ours being quite needed in our view.
Sure. And those firms that you're taking the stakes in, is there a tilt towards the US, towards Europe? Where are you seeing the most demand for what you're offering?
We're seeing demand actually everywhere. We are talking to European venture firms. We're talking to firms in Asia. Right now, the transactions that we have done so far include managers that are US in nature, but also global in nature. We've partnered with a number of firms ranging from Drive Capital. Drive Capital is based in Columbus, Ohio. Their belief is the biggest emerging market in the world is actually the middle of America.
Okay.
And so they're sort of an exclusively US-focused firm. And then we have other managers, including some we haven't announced yet, but that are global venture platforms, and with investments in Europe, India, all over, And so I think we're excited to do all of them, because I think in order to be a good venture capitalist, you have to have, in our view, you have to have some sort of focus, some sort of expertise, some sort of uniqueness about you. And often that uniqueness or focus can be a geography, right? And so ultimately, if you look at the long-term goal of Collective Global, I'm sure we'll partner with a number of great venture capital firms here in Europe.
You touched earlier on AI. Clearly, is something that everybody is thinking about, everybody wants to invest in, and something that can't really be ignored. What's your view on how best to invest in AI and how best to, I guess, capitalize on some of the great things that it allows you to do?
Yeah. So AI, there's so many layers you can invest in. And we have had a difficult time investing in the application layer, or the LLM layer, really. And mostly because we just weren't sure who was going to win. And we also weren't sure whether the large incumbent Mag 7 companies were going to win. And I think where we were more sure was around AI infrastructure. So one of our biggest investments is in a company called Vast Data. Those types of businesses are doing extremely well. The picks and shovels of AI feel like the types of businesses that we should be backing. But I think another trend that we're really excited about is around, as people spend more and more time in front of computers and letting computers and automation do work, we're finding that there's a large craving for human connection, right? And some might say this is a post-COVID thing, but I think it's actually a post-COVID plus AI thing, where when you look at like Taylor Swift concerts, Coldplay concerts, sporting events, tickets prices all-time high. Tickets are selling out the moment they release to the public. So premium events, premium entertainment, culture is, in our view, going to be even more profound and important in a world of AI. And so actually one of the managers that we partnered with is an early stage manager at the forefront of consumer and culture. And we actually think that's a AI trend, right? And so I think you'll find us investing in things that are directly related to AI, like AI infrastructure, for example, Vast Data. Sure. But you'll also find us investing in things that some might say have nothing to do with AI, but in our view are directly correlated to what happens in an AI-first world.
As a sports and music fan, I'm very glad to hear you say that. One final question for you, both yourself and Collective Global as a firm. What are you thinking about? What are you looking to capitalize on, concerned about potentially over the next, I guess, 6 to 12 months, 2 years?
Yeah, I think innovation right now is at an all-time high. Now, I feel like it's always at an all-time high. Like every year that humans exist, it continues to accelerate at a rate faster than previous years. I think that's only going to continue. So it's like for all the pessimism that we see in the world right now, and there is a lot, right? And it's not like the world is an easy place. There's a lot of people struggling. The one thing that gets me very excited is the rate of innovation globally, not just in America, globally. And so for us, like the next 6 to 12 months, and really the next 6 to 12 years, frankly, I am extremely excited about investing in the next generation of incredible companies, but also investing in the next generation of incredible managers who are going to capitalize on those companies. I made my career on investing in a company called Robinhood, a stock trading company. And that business is just one example of a business that, at least in the US, has touched a lot of people's lives by giving people access to financial markets. And if you can make that type of impact in different sectors where you can open up the common man to, whether in their case it was investing, or in another case it might be access to healthcare, or in a third case it might be access to a certain type of technology that allows you to be more efficient with your time so you can spend more time with your family. All those types of things, to me, are incredibly exciting. And the world is moving to a place where businesses like that are getting built and getting built faster than ever before and on less capital than ever before. So I couldn't be more optimistic.
That's great to hear. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Sheel. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.